Don't Let Your Story Hijack You is one of the chapters in the book. I want to just read a little bit of that chapter. It starts off with a great quote by Maya Angelou that says, "There is no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside you." And so getting hijacked becomes this thing that happens based on our perception. Here's a little bit from the book. How real is the story of your relationship? What is your story doing to you? Is your story perception of what happened to you or a reality compromised by your perception? And so now I'm going to go a little further and just give you a little bit. Relationships are made of stories. Call these episodes of your life. They are big episodes, like the time you had a fight and didn't speak to each other for days. There are little episodes, like the time your partner promised to do something and forgot. These little episodes might go unnoticed, except that we rehash them again and again in our minds, making mountains out of molehills. Sometimes the truth of the story gets lost in retelling the story. One day you're in love with a person, and the next day you're not. Was the end of the love really that sudden? Or were the little stories piling up in the corner of your perception for months? These are interesting because in a relationship, let's say someone forgets to do something or something happens and you start to go, you never do this, you never do that. Is that a perception of you retelling yourself a story about an experience of something that happened to you? Or is that really reality? Is that happening in the present moment? I'm not going to give away the chapter, but I think what's interesting is that our stories do hijack us. It's almost like that saying about we bring baggage with us. And so when that happens, what are we opening up out of that baggage in the current relationship? And it was dawning on me today that when we get into a lot of these different things in relationships, we make the other person wrong. And what we have to realize is that nothing would come from making the other person wrong. Making someone wrong doesn't feel good. If someone makes you wrong, it just wouldn't really feel good. So therefore, making the other person wrong doesn't work. And we are powerful. You are powerful. Your words are so powerful. And you have to make choices with your words. You don't want to say the wrong thing and hurt someone, because once you release it off of your tongue, you can't take it back. It's like a sword. It cuts. So it'll cut going in and it'll cut coming back. So that's very, very dangerous. So one thing that I've discovered as I, go through the 7 keys of love is that there's something called unspoken arguments, and they're less destructive than spoken ones. So you have to sort of reel yourself back in, and it's in the book. And I talk about sometimes they can be catastrophic to a relationship. And I'm talking about this spoken argument. They hit like a bomb in a room. Everyone is aware and tiptoes around the topics until it explodes. How do you avoid that? Well, you avoid that by listening. Like every time you listen to your spouse or your partner or the other person, that you're creating newness. It's almost like the art of living. Every time you do something, expect it to be new. Expect it to be restoration and revitalizing, that it gives you a certain zeal or a zest that is just alive. Being in life is alive. So we have to live every day as if it's new and it's alive. And so I'll go a little bit more in the book where it says, I used to think that when there was a problem, doing nothing was the correct approach. But actually doing nothing is suppressing it into your perception of reality. So number 1 is don't make someone wrong. Listen like it's brand new. Listen like it's the first time you heard it, and take the approach that it can be restored. Restoration is a daily attribute in a relationship in order for it to survive. It doesn't have to be a spouse or a partner, but it really takes a lot to make that relationship survive. So making someone wrong, nothing can come from that. Be in your truth is number 2. Be in your truth. Don't blame someone. But being in your truth and speaking your truth, there's a particular balancing act that has to occur in order for you to do that. Being in your truth is dangerous because it's risky. It's almost like you have to know how to balance it so you don't make the other person wrong. But being in your truth leads me to another title in the book about never settling. So this all plays together. Make it new. That's number 3. Make it new. We're all intertwined into communities and networking and doing everything we do. So when you make it new every day, make it new. I hope you enjoyed the reading. I'm Sean Collinson. I just want to thank you and acknowledge you for watching. I know this video was a little bit longer, but really it was important to know that, our stories hijack us. We all have stories. And in the 7 Keys to Love, that chapter on don't let your story hijack you. It was just so important to really just express that chapter and share that with you. And I'm so glad that, you gave me the opportunity to do it. I'm honored and I'm humbled for the experience. Thank you very much and have a great day. For more information like this, of course, on our Facebook, our Twitter, Instagram, share this story with someone. It could make a difference in their life, in their world, and complete happiness, because the quest is love, and that's the universal language. I'm Sean Collinson, and thanks for watching.